Space Coconut.
Given that we're already pretty happy with the way Hillbilly performs, the changes to his base kit are minimal.
I didn't want to believe it when I saw it on Twitter that Billy was dead. I thought people were just exaggerating. I thought this was going to be a small nerf. Oh boy.
Billy base, way down. Billy add-ons, very underwhelming as well.
I love the sound effects. The sound effects are really good, but this is horrible. How chunky do I feel? You can't mind game at all. There's zero mind game in this killer now. Zero. Look at this. I'm an M1 killer.
Yeah, I hate this. I'm gonna be honest, I hate this. I fucking hate this.
We are not removing any of the options you have with his chainsaw: traversal, feathering, curving, etc.
Dude, is there a curve anymore? I need to just test this. Even if I overheat, I need to just test this right here. Holy shit! Sorry for my language, but I just 180'd. Straight up. There's no curve mechanic. They've actually just deleted the curve mechanic. Let me just come out into the open real quick. I'm pretty sure I can just 180. Yeah. I just, wherever I'm facing. Oh, wow. They've removed curving.
Instead, we want to focus on the skill-based gameplay and put an emphasis on using your chainsaw effectively, only adding a small drawback to misusing your chainsaw.
Well, there's a survivor here, so let's... A life gamer. Oh, I'm about to overheat already. Holy crap. Oh, that happened so quickly. I swear the gloves did nothing.
Right, okay. So what am I supposed to do here? So I gotta wait this whole cooldown for his chainsaw. For doing that. I gotta wait this whole cooldown. What? What were you thinking?
Like, dude, I'm already overheated. I barely even did anything.
Okay, so there are plenty of videos on the Leatherface buff and the Hillbilly nerf, their add-ons and all of their things, all over the internet right now. You know, that's not what we're going to talk about, because you can find that information everywhere and everybody has already seen what the devs have done. What we're going to talk about today is what the
redacted
is wrong with these devs. They themselves said that they were pretty much happy with how Billy was performing. The community, barring some low-skill survivors and some over-skilled hillbillies, would say that Hillbilly was overpowered and he needed to be toned down a little bit, right? Nobody was asking for a complete overhaul of Hillbilly. Nobody. At least, you know, if some people were asking, saying maybe he was too strong, okay. Like the nurse, sound familiar? Some of his add-ons stacked together and they made him, you know, overwhelmingly powerful. What's the word for that? Oppressively powerful. That's the word. That he was oppressive. And okay, if you're a good hillbilly and you had the best add-ons, sure, that could happen. But why did he need a complete overhaul? You changed all of his add-ons. You completely revamped his power, requiring players to have to relearn how to use the power at all, right? The numbers on the overheat are too high. You're probably going to tone them down by live if you're smart. Some of his add-ons are completely useless. What the hell is wrong with you to implement the, what is that, the mother's fasteners or mother's somethings or whatever? You want Hillbilly to use an add-on that requires a survivor to have a flashlight, which they may or may not. That flashlight has to shine on the Hillbilly in order for him to get a minuscule movement speed buff. He doesn't need a movement speed buff if a survivor is facing him to shine a flashlight on him. If the survivor is flashlighting him, he's standing still at a pallet. He's standing still while you're picking up a survivor. A survivor isn't going to be shining a flashlight on you if you're running directly at them. If they are, that is not a good survivor, right? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with these devs? Who thought that add-on? I mean, I'm just even talking about this add-on. What is wrong with you? Hillbilly may not have been fine. I'm not a Hillbilly main. I don't know how to play him. I don't like playing him. So I defer all of this to other players who play Hillbilly. And what's the consensus? This change is garbage. This change was unnecessary. All you had to do was change the add-ons that made him too powerful, just like the nurse. And just like the nurse, you decided to give him a complete overhaul, adding a cooldown to his power, making it less fun to use, less versatile, taking away the different aspects that different Hillbilly players liked playing with as Hillbilly, and completely stripping them away, making him much less fun to play.
No, I'm right now I'm just heartbroken. Because that was one of the worst feelings I've ever had playing Billy.
And everybody who has seen you do this before knows that these changes are going live. There's going to be a few number changes here and there, probably going to make his cooldown better, but everybody knows that you're going to ignore the community, that you're going to go through these changes. You're going to leave him in the similar state that the nurse is currently in, and you're going to leave him there. You're not going to improve him. You're not going to make him better. You're not going to make him fun to play again. You are going to throw him in the dumpster, and you're going to ignore everyone who is asking you not to. I don't understand what these devs are thinking. I have no inkling of to us who play the game, right? We can see, I've said it before, we can see why people would think that Hillbilly was overpowered. Why is it so hard to just tweak those small little add-ons and then leave him the way he was, the way people enjoyed playing him? What was so hard about that? And then we have other issues like Trapper, right? Relatively underrated, depending, he has some quality of life issues that he could use. And the only thing that they touch with him is being able to reset his trap if it's on the ground. And they even put it in a trailer. They made a huge deal about it, right? As if it was some big accomplishment. What's wrong with these devs? Now, I don't know about you. I don't care. Leatherface is interesting to use now. His power is probably overly complicated. He probably needs something like the nurse's signal, like that little vignette that appears around the edge of the screen when you can reuse use a token for his power. He needs that. Otherwise, you're going to be guessing and having to look at the bottom left of your screen. I don't know. If the devs are smart, they might add that to help players focus on the match rather than looking at the little numbers in the bottom left of the corner, losing sight of their survivors and accidentally running into trees and stuff like that. So they need a little border around Leatherface, and for the most part, he looks fine. They're going to tone back his ultra rares so he can't use his chainsaw for that long. I saw True Talent stack them, and it was pretty ridiculous. That's probably going to go away faster than they tweak anything with Hillbilly. I guess one question I have for the community here, why are you still defending the devs? Why are you surprised that they do stuff like this? I mean, so many people were like, oh, well, maybe the nerf isn't that bad. Do you know why I didn't say anything? Because I knew. The devs do not listen to the community. They do their own thing for their own reasons using their own flawed data. Nothing we say is going to influence what they do with Hillbilly. The Hillbilly changes are going live. No amount of disagreement or begging for even the smallest changes are going to happen. I'd be willing to bet, but honestly, I'll probably be wrong, but I'll be willing to bet that the devs do not change anything about Hillbilly by the time the mid-chapter patch comes up. The simplest changes to make him feel a little bit better is to take it easy on the cooling mechanic, right? He doesn't need to build up 40% of his heat just to start one chainsaw sprint, right? It doesn't need to jump up that high that quickly if you're trying to prep a chainsaw hit. The only thing that they should do, or hopefully would do there, is to tone that back. Changing that, maybe that would help, right? But the problem is it's going to help skilled Hillbillies. A new player, or a player like myself who has no experience with Hillbilly, is going to miss every single chainsaw. And if I don't, I might get the fourth chainsaw. But the problem is that you can only attempt 3 chainsaws before it goes into cooldown. And then you can't even try it. And then you're a M1 killer for that duration, whatever that cooldown duration is. The devs are ridiculous. And I mean, this, in my opinion, is about as bad as the... Well, okay, so the Hillbilly change is as bad as the nurse change, in my opinion. They're trying to normalize it. I'm worried for what they plan to do with the hag, right? She's probably perfectly fine, which means they're probably going to give her a complete overhaul. But his add-ons, right? The one where the mother's somethings or whatever that make him move faster when he's being shined on by a light. And then the add-ons that act as mini perks that they already have. Those decisions, whoever thought that add-on was a good idea, and the people who created it, and the people who didn't question it, and the people who okayed it, right? The people in charge of the decisions to make these things are morons. I don't understand it. There's no reason for that light add-on in particular. And then, you get into the details of the other add-ons, which I don't even want to talk about right now. These are your devs. These are the Dead by Daylight devs. And if you think they have your best interests at heart, if you think they want you to have a fun, entertaining, and engaging gaming experience, you're wrong. They were happy with how Hillbilly performed. They were happy with how he worked. And so they gave him a complete overhaul. Now tell me, why? Why was a complete overhaul necessary if you want to defend the devs? So, I mean, that's about all I have to say about this. That's all I need to say. All of the other talks about Hillbilly and Leatherface. Leatherface, the change was fine. Not sure what's going to happen with that. But specifically on Hillbilly, go ahead and watch everybody else talk about Hillbilly and try to make it sound not as bad as it actually is. Listen to the apologists talk about how they'll probably change it back before mid-chapter patch. They'll make it better by mid-chapter patch. Listen to them all. And then remember what I told you. The devs are going to do jack
redacted
to make Hillbilly better than what he is in the PTB. I think in the next video I'll talk about the add-ons. That'll be fun. The perks aren't perfect, and the changes are borderline useless on Franklin's demise, but we'll talk about that later. If you want to hear more happy and cheery Dead by Daylight content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Come stop by. We have a pretty strong community. Everybody kind of agrees with the things that are going on. And I promise I'm not as ragey in the streams. Maybe I'll see you there. In the meantime, I'll see you in the dumpster fire.